Mariners lose. What was it? 7-6. Yeah. 7-6. They fall to 63-55 on the season. They lose the first of the 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals. Let's talk about how it happened, I guess. Do you really even want to talk about how it happened? First inning, Logan Gilbert gives up a long home run to Sal Perez that scores Michael Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr. 3-0. In the 5th, Bobby Witt Jr. is credited with an inside the park home run, which proves to you that scorekeeping is stupid. ERA is stupid because it was an easy play by Dominic Canzone and he flat out just dropped it. Well, he didn't drop it because you have to hit your glove in order for it to drop. 5-0, 4-0, excuse me. Here's the 5-0. Michael Garcia walks with Isaiah Campbell after Taylor Sassetto loaded the bases. It's 5-0. Top of the 8th, Julio Rodriguez doubles home 3 to make it 5-3. Suarez singles home Julio, 5-4. Bottom of the 9th. Excuse me, top of the 9th. I almost skipped the actual good thing. Josh Rojas singles home Teoscar Hernandez. Tie game 5-5. And for the first time in his career, Julio Rodriguez has a go-ahead hit in the 9th inning to make it 6-5. But it doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't matter in the scheme of things anyway, because Salvador Perez hits a long sac fly to score Bobby Witt Jr., who was just everywhere tonight. 6-6. And then a perfect bunt from, I believe it was Duran Blanco, that scores Samad Taylor. The amount of speed the Kansas City Royals have. Terrible baseball team, but the speed is just incredible. Dylan Moore unable to make the play. We'll talk about it. 7-6. Before we get into anything, let us thank the good people of Simply Seattle who, look, even though the Mariners have kind of broken our hearts the last 3 nights, it's still a fun team to talk about. And it's still a team that you want to wear gear for, right? And so you should go to Simply Seattle to get anything Mariner related. They've got great hats. They've got great shirts. They make their own shirts. They have a great deal right now where if you buy a Shohei Ohtani shirt, come to Seattle shirt, you can get a free ticket to the game. It comes with the ticket. So free may be the wrong word, but that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it a free ticket. September 12th is the date of that game. And if you use code MOLLYWOB15, you get 15% off your orders. And it's not just Seahawks stuff, folks, or it's not just Mariner stuff, folks. It's Seahawks stuff. It's Sonic stuff. It's Kraken stuff. It's Husky stuff. It's Rainier stuff. It's anything you could be looking for Seattle related. Use code MOLLYWOB15 to save 15%. That's simplyseattle.com. I got to get rid of this hair again. For a guy who has no hair, I actually need a haircut. I didn't fix anything. Whatever. You can just stare at it. I'm sorry. I'm so frustrated by this game, and it doesn't help that it's so gosh dang hot right now, and I have to turn the air off for you stupid people. I love you. I love you all, but you're all driving me nuts right now because I have to have this off in order for this to sound relatively decent, and it's just hotter than Hades in here. We got up to 100. I'm sweltering. I am absolutely sweltering. This is a body that is not meant for sweltering. And by the way, mustache in this heat, no thank you. Let's talk about some positives, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff that's not so great to talk about tonight. Oh, is there ever? Another really nice game for Josh Rojas. I've actually been really impressed with what he's done lately. Some of you have complained quite a bit to me about him. I think he's played great. Defensively, he's getting on a couple of times a night lately. I'll take it. Very clutch single in the 9th. Really nice game from him. Mike Ford, who I complain nonstop about, had a double, scored a run. Good for you. Julio. Huge hits. Huge hits. That 3-run double gets you back in the game. And then that clutch single with 2 outs gives you the lead. Game you should have won. Game you should have won, and let's just get into the negatives. Folks, I know the Mariners had a lead in the 9th inning. They didn't deserve to win this game. Because, oh, by the way, did I mention that this team was being No hit into the 7th inning. And I want to give some credit to Brady Singer, who pitched very well. That slider on the back foot was working. And when Brady Singer is on, he looks like a future top of the rotation arm is probably too strong, I should say. But, solid number 3 starter. I think he has that type of potential. And if not, I think he could be dominant in relief. But I've seen enough flashes for Brady Singer to suggest number 3, number 2 on maybe a mediocre staff where you have to have your offense carry you. But I want to give credit to Brady Singer. But I also want to acknowledge that the Mariners' offense was awful tonight for 7 innings. Awful. One of the worst offensive games I've seen Cal Raleigh have. And I know he fouled off a bunch of pitches tonight. He fouled off a bunch of hittable pitches. Very hittable pitches. Same is true for Ty France. Same is true for Mike Ford up until that double, which he scorched. That was great to see. Same was true for Dylan Moore, who and yeah, the offense was pathetic tonight for 7 innings. It was great for 2 innings. As soon as the starter came out, Kansas City's bullpen is maybe the worst in baseball. One of the worst I've ever seen. I think Carlos Hernandez actually has a chance to be pretty good. He just did not have it tonight. And he's had some moments of good. Positives. Isaiah Campbell gave you a inning and a third of decent baseball, although walking in that run ended up being massive. Justin Topal was his usually reliable self. Logan Gilbert was not good tonight. Okay, so he only gives up 4 earned runs, and it's nonsense that he has 4. It should have been 3. And he only should have had those 3 after the first inning. But it wasn't good. Like, he was very fortunate to only give up the 4 runs. He was catching a lot of the plate. He got some strikeouts, which helped. But it was inefficient. Not a good outing. Not a good outing whatsoever. Deserved better, but not a good outing. Certainly not. We expect more from Logan Gilbert, and we should, and we need it. We need it. The big 3 has to be great down the stretch. And I wouldn't say Logan Gilbert was terrible, but he wasn't great. He wasn't even good. It's an average to below average start against a bad baseball team. Team that's been playing better for sure. And Bobby Witt Jr., that dude's a star. He's a star right now. It's a shame that he's stuck in Kansas City. And no insult to the Kansas City fans. I love you. I have a bunch of you that follow me on Twitter. I follow you, a bunch of you on Twitter. You have a wonderful city. You have some of the best barbecue in the world. But I think you can acknowledge your team stinks. You're 42 games under 500. Like, you can't win every game against the bad teams. But it doesn't mean that the losses don't hurt more. You've got to win games against this team. And now you got to win 3 straight in order for this to be a successful series. Because a split here isn't good enough. Not even close to good enough. Not at this point in the year. Absolutely not. You have to win 3 now in a row for this to become a successful series. And you certainly can do that. I've been saying certainly a little too much lately, but it's another problem for another time. Matt Brash. Not great. Not even close to great. Been saying not even close to a little too much too. One of the worst outings I've seen from him. And what was frustrating about Brash tonight was he got to 2 strikes with every single hitter. And then, folks, I'm going to bring back a name that we don't want to hear. He Hector Noesi'd. He couldn't finish off hitters. Credit to Bobby Witt. Hit a really good pitch on 3-2 up the middle for a base hit. Very few hitters are hitting that ball hard, and he did. Tons of credit to him. A great shortstop maybe makes that play, but I'm going to give the credit to Witt there. But after that, he leaves a slider or whatever pitch it was way too high to Michael Massey, who stings the ball. And unfortunately, Witt is running, and that's what speed does. That's what speed does. Witt is running. He gets into third base. And another thing that kills the Mariners tonight is the lack of ability to hold a gosh dang runner, puts that runner on second base. They're so bad at it. You can argue all you want. Hey, just don't give up the runners. Do both. Baseball's hard. You're going to give up runners. Do a better job. You've got to hold runners on. But yeah, Brash, that he gets to 2 strikes on Massey, makes a bad pitch. He gets to 2 strikes on Perez, gives him a pitch to drive. A decent piece of hitting, but he gives him a pitch to drive. Matt Brash has to finish those guys off. He has to get those strikeouts. If you're the closer, you've got to do that job. And tonight he was the closer, obviously, with Munoz, not being available. I think I just thought of Oliver Perez for some reason. Or maybe it was just Sal Perez. I don't know. It's so flippin' hot. Wearing these headphones right now is killing me. But so is this baseball team. No hits through 7 1/3 innings. And that lack of defensive awareness from Canzone there ends up massive. I'm sure the lights are very bright right now. It's tough. Baseball's hard. Plays that you and I can't make, major league players have to make. And he looked lost. And then didn't make a great effort going after the baseball, in my humble estimation. And then bobbled the ball. And as soon as he bobbled the ball, it was donezo. By the way, again, let's give some credit to Bobby Witt Jr. 14.7 seconds around the bases. Whew. Shouldn't be able to hit a ball that far or be able to have that kind of power, I should say, and be able to run like that. There's like 3 guys. Julio's one of them. Julio's slower than Bobby Witt Jr., but he is by no means slow. Ellie De La Cruz, and those are the only 3 I can think of. Ronald Acuna, maybe. Acuna's just more of a better base runner. Let's not talk about Ronald Acuna Jr. And this is a weird one, too, because, look, you traded your closer. You traded your quality closer this year while you're in a playoff race, and you absolutely were, and you still are. I want to make that abundantly clear. They're still fine. I mean, fine is a subjective term, but they're more than in this thing. Lots of baseball left to be played. But you did trade your closer while you were in a playoff race. And your last 3 games, your last reliever has not gotten the job done. I mean, look, Brash was fantastic on Sunday. But tonight he didn't have it. I don't think it was a situation of the pressure being too much or anything like that. I just think he didn't have it. And I do want to make this clear too. Matt Brash, for all intents and purposes, is a rookie. He got like 5 starts, and then the Mariners decided that's stupid. This isn't going to work. And they may try it again, but it's not going to work. And then they brought him up for the bullpen stretch. Like, technically, he exhausted rookie eligibility, but for all intents and purposes, this is Matt Brash's first full year of playing Major League Baseball. You're going to have struggles. You're going to see some stuff. He's still figuring out where the heck the baseball is going. And that's not an indictment of Brash. That's a little bit an indictment of the Seattle Mariners for being this reliant on him. Because holy crap, on a cracker, the Mariners need Matt Brash. And they need Andres Munoz. You're still I think those are still the guys you're going to. Heck, I know those are still the guys they're going to. But tonight it didn't work out. And I hate to say it. They didn't deserve for it to be worked out. Because outside of an inning and a half, the Mariners played like hot flipping garbage. Garbage. They didn't pitch well. They certainly didn't hit well. And they didn't defend well. All 3 aspects of the game, the Mariners were bad tonight for the overwhelming majority of the game. So on that safety squeeze, and I know there's a bunch of people out there who are talking about, why don't they bunt more? Why don't they bunt more? I'm fine with bunting. If the Mariners want to bunt in those situations, very effective play if they can get it down. Giving up outs is stupid, but when you only need one run, that's a great play. No baseball analytic person disagrees with that. What they disagree with is giving up an out to move the guy to second or giving up an out to move the guy to third. That has been proven mathematically is not a great strategy unless you only need one run to win a game. And this was both. It's a great play because you're almost bunting for a hit, especially with that dude's speed. I mean, Darren Blanco, I think, has like 15 steals in 35 games or something like that. Yeah, that's a great play. I have no issue with that. The issue is if you think, greater minds can disagree. If you think bunting is the way to play, okie dokie, I'm not going to argue with you because there's no point. But that's bad. That's, in my humble estimation, bad. Giving up outs. Bunting to score a run when you only need one run is a great play. Anyway, what I was talking about before I went on my little preemptive rant where I'm just arguing against myself. It's like the Steph Curry tweet. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. There's always somebody arguing against himself. Like somebody said, but I thought Steph Curry couldn't shoot. That's one of my favorites. That and the reaping and sowing tweet are two of my absolute all-time favorites. Anyway, the bunt. I've watched the replay a few times. I'm not even sure if Dylan Moore makes a perfect play, it scores the run, or it doesn't score the run. And it's not because the bunt was so good. It's because Samad Taylor got a fantastic jump. Fantastic. It was a decent enough bunt. It was Carlos Guillen-esque in game 3, some 23 years ago. 23 years ago. Holy crap. Wow. I was at that game. It was fine, effective enough. But it became even more effective because Samad Taylor just got an amazing jump. So you can't completely blame Dylan Moore there. Would have been nice to at least be able to make the effort. But it's another reminder, folks, and Moore was okay at shortstop tonight. He made a lot of plays that a collegiate shortstop should make. A lot of balls hit right at him, and he did fine. But it is an example that Dylan Moore is not a great defensive player anywhere. Anywhere. And obviously, so Ty France, gets on, draws the walk, pretty good at bat. Austin Cox clearly did not have it tonight either, but good at bat, gets on first base. Beyond zero problem with them pinch running and then having to move him over to first base. But it is a reminder that I know a lot of people really like Dylan Moore, and I think they like Dylan Moore because he's scrappy and he's had some good moments. Hell, I remember that catch that he made. Swear number like 30 at this point. I remember that catch he made in Felix's final game. Yeah, it was unbelievable. It also wasn't a great read on the baseball, but he showed his athleticism. He's a scrappy guy. He's athletic. He's handsome as all get out. But he's not a great baseball player. And if he's not hitting against left-handed pitching, I don't want him in my lineup. And unfortunately, what was a 5% chance of getting the runner becomes 0 because he doesn't make the play. Playing a position that he's not used to, sure. But again, stop talking to me about his versatility if he's not good at the things that he's being asked to do. For the most part, he's not. I feel really bad for Julio, which is a weird thing to do because I'm feeling bad for a 22-year-old who is one of the most talented baseball players, is on pace to have like a 30-40 season, and is going to make like $400 million in his life. But I do feel bad for him because he's gotten a lot of crap about the late inning stuff. I read the tweets. I shouldn't read the tweets. I wish the tweets didn't exist because I'd like him to be better. And also, I want that website to implode right on the melted crane's face. I was mean. Anyway, I still feel bad for him because you finally have this moment. You have this wonderful moment where he literally carried them. He gets that massive 3-run double to score everybody. And then, yes, Josh Rojas gets the tying run home. But then Julio gets the job done to give you the lead, and that should have been enough. Should have been more than enough. But it just wasn't going to happen tonight. And deservedly so. If you believe in karma or whatever word you want to use for it, ball don't lie, whatever. The Mariners didn't deserve to win this game. It would have been fun. I wouldn't have complained. I don't hand them back. But they didn't deserve to win this game. Bummer. Bummer. And now you have to take the next 3. And you should take the next 3. Don't know if you will take the next 3. But you should. And you have to call it a successful series. I don't even remember who's pitching tomorrow. That's right. Emerson Hancock against Jordan Lyles. Real quick, Jordan Lyles is one of my all-time favorite non-Mariners, and I'll tell you why real quick. I know this video is getting a little long. If not for Jordan Lyles, the big dumper homer doesn't mean as much. Jordan Lyles pitched his best game ever against the Yankees that day. The big dumper won it. And that meant when we would have gone nuts in Safeco or T-Mobile or whatever you want to call it, we would have gone nuts. We would have gone ape, you know what? Because it's special. But it became even more special because Jordan Lyles pitched such a fantastic game against the Yankees that the Orioles won and the Mariners win was actually the thing that clinched it. And I think that's awesome. Got a lot of crap on Twitter because I said you absolutely were rooting for the Yankees or the Orioles to win that game so that this win is the one that sends you in. And a bunch of people were like, no, it doesn't matter. We just want to win in. We shouldn't be beggars or choosers. Yeah, that's fine. That would have been fine if this was like game 160, but there was like 8 games left. It was so much better of a moment by winning that game. I've probably talked about this ad nauseum on this wonderful thing. Did I say Herbie Hancock, by the way? I might have. Emerson Hancock against Jordan Lyles. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. We are so close to 750. And a reminder, when we get to 750, somebody's winning that. Let's get a little better view. Edgar Martinez, autographed baseball card. I've already sent out the Matt Brash when we got to 400. We sent out the big dumper when we got to 500. Now we're sending out Edgar at 750. Folks, do you think I might have something cool for you when we get to 1,000? You bet your sweet bippy I do. You can follow me on that website at Crawford_MILB, the Sports Sometimes podcast. Please check that out. Search for it on pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. The RotoWire Fantasy Baseball podcast, you can definitely find that wherever you are looking for podcasts. And I've got some career news. I'm going to be joining my former boss at NBC/RotoWorld has a new project coming up, or we're building, called Sportstopia, that I'm going to be heading up a lot of the baseball content over there. I'm really excited. I'm still going to be doing my RotoWire stuff. Still going to be doing all this other stuff as well. It doesn't prevent me from doing that, but very excited. It's mostly DFS type stuff. But it's a really cool format, and there's a really cool little I forget what the heck you call it, but there's a very cool optimizer that people are really going to dig. So very excited about starting that up. Going to be joined by my buddy Drew Silva and a bunch of people from RotoWorld, former fleet from RotoWorld, are going to be hanging out and doing a bunch of sports. I think I'm going to do some football too, which is exciting. I love football. I've made most of my living doing baseball, but a lot of people know that I've covered college football for NBC for a long time. Anyway, very excited about that. You'll see a lot of stuff. I'll probably be linking to some of that stuff as well. That's exciting. This Mariner game was exciting. But once again, it's exciting for all the wrong reasons.